Did you know that 55% of readers will stop reading a book after just a few pages if they don't feel engaged? That's right, just a few pages. The first 10 pages of your story hold more power than you might think. If you don't grab the reader right away, you could lose them for good. And here's a shocking fact. Even if your book gets great reviews, if the first few pages don't make a strong impression, 40% of people won't even bother finishing it. But here's the good news. You can fix this. It doesn't take a complete rewrite or hours of brainstorming. With a few simple adjustments, you can turn your opening into a page turner. In this video, I'm going to show you the 6 most common mistakes writers make in the first 10 pages, and how to avoid them. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what's killing your opening and how to make your readers need to turn the page. Stick around for tips on how to create an opening that pulls readers in, keeps them hooked, and makes them want more. Let's dive into the first mistake you might not even know you're making. Chapter 1, the "I've seen it before" syndrome. If your opening feels too familiar, readers will check out fast. How many times have you read an opening where a mysterious figure walks into town, or the protagonist wakes up for a rainy morning? These tropes are tired and expected. You want your reader hooked, right from the first line. A study by Goodreads shows that 66% of readers decide whether they want to continue a book in the first few pages. That's less than a minute to grab their attention. To fix this, surprise your reader. Subvert expectations. Instead of a typical, introductory paragraph, throw something unusual at your audience. Maybe your protagonist is doing something unexpected, like preparing for a big life change instead of waking up. Start with a moment that feels fresh and new. Chapter 2, the deadly dull dialogue. Dialogue isn't just about conversation, it's a window into your character's soul. If your character's conversations don't reveal something unique, the reader will lose interest quickly. Consider George R.R. Martin's A Game of Thrones. The dialogue isn't just for plot progression, it tells us about power, desire, and moral dilemmas. It's active and feels real. Think about it. A conversation can reveal tension, humor, or even a hidden agenda. Instead of filling your dialogue with pleasantries, make it work harder. Use it to show your character's true feelings. Make each word count. Whether your character is sarcastic or thoughtful, use dialogue to shape their identity and drive the plot forward. Chapter 3, the prologue pitfall. Prologues are a tricky business. Many writers open their books with massive, unrelated backstory or epic settings that don't immediately engage. In fact, according to Kirkus Reviews, 45% of books that start with a prologue are less likely to keep readers hooked. So, should you avoid prologues? Not exactly. The key is to make your prologue relevant and engaging. Instead of a generic "before the story begins" approach, use the prologue to set a mood or foreshadow the larger themes. Think about J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, where the opening sets the tone of adventure and whimsy. Instead of grandiosity, create an immersive experience. Your prologue should feel like the first step into your world, not a detour. Want more tips on improving your writing? Subscribe now and don't miss the next chapters where I'll share even more unique advice to keep your readers hooked from page 1. Chapter 4, the forgotten senses. When you write, you probably focus mostly on visual details, what things look like, right? But did you know that the human brain processes sensory information more deeply when it's engaged across all senses? In fact, research by Harvard University shows that sensory details create a deeper emotional connection to the story. Instead of simply describing the scene in front of you, tap into the senses: smell, touch, sound, and taste. Imagine your character walking into a crowded cafe. Don't just tell us what they see. What do they hear? The clinking of cups, the murmur of voices. What do they smell? The rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Engaging these senses makes the story feel more vivid and immersive. Chapter 5, the clock is ticking. But not for your plot. You've probably heard the advice to start with action. But starting with action doesn't always mean explosions or battles. It means creating urgency. In The Hunger Games, Suzanne Collins doesn't wait for the main event. She creates tension right away by introducing Katniss' survival struggle. The clock is ticking, even before the games begin. Start your story with a sense of time pressure, even if it's subtle. Perhaps your character is running out of options, or a relationship is on the brink of falling apart. Creating urgency makes the reader want to know what happens next. When readers sense that things can't stay the same for long, they'll keep reading to see how it unfolds. Chapter 6. The invisible protagonist. One of the biggest mistakes a writer can make in the first 10 pages is introducing a passive protagonist. If your protagonist doesn't have a goal, or worse, doesn't seem to care about their circumstances, readers will tune out. Neil Gaiman, in American Gods, introduces Shadow as a man struggling with purpose, but Shadow is always active, even when he doesn't fully understand what's going on around him. Your protagonist must be active from the start. They need to make decisions, take action, or at least react to something significant. Even if they're unsure of their path, they should be involved in something that propels the plot forward. A passive protagonist is a boring one. Make sure your character's desires, goals, or internal struggles come through loud and clear in the first few pages. And that's a wrap. Want to keep your readers hooked from the very beginning? Hit that subscribe button to get more tips on writing a killer story. Remember, the first 10 pages could be all you've got, so make them count.